Good morning. Call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of County Commissioners to order. This morning we have with us for our invocation Dan Kennedy from the River City Vineyard, followed immediately by our Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Dan, push that button on that front of that thing.
It's right here. Yep. Join me in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, for this season of fresh new life of spring. Thank you for this meeting, for these Fremont County leaders. Thank you that we live in a place where a pastor is so welcome to begin a meeting like this in prayer. Amen. In this time when it feels like so much is shaking and out of our control, would you give these leaders courage and wisdom in all the decisions they face this day? Bless them as they serve, and bless the people of Fremont County. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Roll call.
Commissioner Grantham.
Here.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
County Attorney Ballas.
Present.
County Administrator Croce.
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Victoria.
Present.
All righty. Approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I believe we have no changes to make to today's agenda, so I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Our minutes and bills are typical things. We do have the ratification of the chairman's signature on the for an airport grant, and no public hearings being scheduled.
That, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item on our agenda is our administrative and informational portion. We'll begin with our staff, elected officials, and we'll begin with our county clerk's monthly report. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Total motor vehicle fees, sales taxes, and recording fees collected for April this year were $1,546,745.96. Of that, Fremont County's portion for disbursement is $840,135.29, which is 54% of the total fees, and is $26,914.76 more than April of last year. So that means year to date, our office is up $104,117.33.
All righty then.
I got nothing.
Numbers look pretty good.
Numbers look pretty good. As far as I can tell with the state of vehicles coming in, nothing's happened. And it's not slowing down. So I'll take it.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully our next report from the finance director will show matching results in our sales tax revenues.
Yes. All right, Mr. Chair, with that, I move to accept the county clerk's monthly report for the month of April 2025.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is our county administrator report. We turn to our county administrator, Tony Croce.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'll start with our posted job opportunities for the county. Under our Department of Transportation team, we have a heavy equipment operator that closes tomorrow, May 14th at 2 p.m. And we also have a laborer position that closes May 19th at 2 p.m. Our Fremont County Department of Human Services, we have one opening, child welfare case aide, and that position closes on May 19th at 2 p.m. And under our Fremont County Clerk and Recorder's Office, we have a motor vehicle clerk 2, and that position closes May 20th at 2 p.m. So for more information about employment opportunities with Fremont County, please visit our county website at fremontcountyco.gov, or you can call our HR department at 719-276-7409. Fremont County Department of Public Health, beginning June 3rd, so beginning next month, our public health will have temporary vital record hours at Garden Park. And so the office will not be opened over there temporarily. And the office, well, it will be open. The office hours will be Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Of course, closed on Fridays, as all county government agencies are closed. And the service options regarding who and how to access vital records during off hours that the Vital Records Office is not open will be posted on the Fremont County Public Health and our Fremont County government websites. Department of Transportation, with all the heavy rain that we had last week, our Department of Transportation staff are doing lots of damage control and mitigation, cleaning culverts and fixing washout areas. Please be patient as we work to mitigate the damage in the roads and a few areas around bridges. And that is all I have, sir.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Mr. Croce?
No, thank you, sir.
Thank you. This time we turn to our elected officials. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to point out for vital statistics, you can go to any vital statistics office in the state and get your birth certificates and death certificates. Just because our hours are augmented doesn't mean you can't drive over to Pueblo or up to El Paso and get that information that you need. I also wanted to mention I was notified by the city this morning that they're going to be striping the roads around the county administration building on Friday. So if you plan to park here, if there's an event across the street, or you work on Friday for some odd reason here at the county building, it never fails. If they paint the roads, the wind blows. And if you want some yellow or white speckles on your car, fine, park there. But if not, you might want to park somewhere else on Friday.
I saw the email you forwarded from Mr. Falgene. I would assume that the city will come and put cones up and barriers or something to keep folks from parking there the next morning.
I would also assume that, but as I was pointing out to Administrator Croce, the parking around the building itself is on the county's property. They're not restriping those. So people could pass the barriers and try and park, and there's other parking around here too. So I just thought I'd throw it out there because it may not just be around here, it may just be in this neighborhood. So I just wanted to mention that and throw it out there in case, especially if there's an event across the street, make sure you find alternate parking.
All righty then. Colleagues, anything else?
Sure. I'll go. Tony touched on it a little bit, but the road department is not only mitigating the problems that happened during the rains, we got probably 3 inches or more in most of the county the other day, which was wonderful. But it did cause some trouble. Some of the roads, you'll see some of the potholes coming back open and stuff, but they're trying to get those fixed, and it takes some time with limited resources to get those all going. So bear with those guys, be patient. A really good thing is that the legislative season is over. However, there's so many bills that they passed that affect the counties negatively that we're still weeding through some of those to figure out how it's going to affect us and what it's going to cost us. We know some of them are going to be pretty costly. We just don't even know how much yet. So it's kind of scary to figure that out. There is talk of a special session to do with Medicaid and different things like that, depending on what happens on the federal level. But at least it's over for now, and we can kind of try to stop the bleeding. The last thing I want to say, with the 3 inches of rain, it was wonderful, a lot of moisture. However, we are still in very dry conditions. I pulled up the drought monitor this morning, and Fremont County is in an abnormally dry in about 2/3 of the county, and severe drought in the bottom third of the county. So it's still really dry out there. The fuels will dry out quick that did get rain. So be very diligent and careful when you're out there, because they want to say it's fire season. I think that's all year round anymore, but just be careful when you're out there and don't spread a spark. Thank you.
That rain is a fuel creator.
It is. It'll grow
Dry
more
season.
fuel too. That grass will be this tall and
Yeah.
ready to burn, but be careful right now.
It was still nice for my yard. Go ahead.
It was nice for everyone's yard.
Hayfield
Yes.
loves it, yeah.
Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. I do have a few things this morning that I would like to mention. First of all, congratulations to the Florence High School Howling Pride marching bands. They're marching, jazz, and concert bands, which are all multiple award winning. You probably know that they've won state competitions the last couple of years. They are in the process of again closing out another year, so they held their 5th annual concert in the park in Florence last night. Just kind of as a thank you to the entire community for helping support them through the entire year. So congratulations to such a great group of kids, and I want them all to know your entire community is very proud of you. Along with that, Mr. Chair, graduation season is upon us, so we have Canyon City High School graduation this Thursday, which is just 2 days from now. Florence High School graduation will be this Friday, and then Cotopaxi High School graduation is next Saturday, so a week from Saturday. So congratulations to all of our students on reaching this milestone, but just as much, congratulations to the parents, to the grandparents, to the brothers and sisters, to teachers, to staff, to administration, to principals, to everyone who has helped you reach this. Graduation is not something that a person does alone. It does take an entire community. So just congratulations to every one of you. And we look forward to seeing what our amazing Fremont County kids do from here. And the last thing I have to mention is kind of a hard right turn. It's not a super happy thing to talk about, but Fremont County lost one of our very best with the death of Larry Baker of Florence on May the 1st. Larry was not a longtime resident of Canyon City, or of Fremont County, excuse me, but he left an indelible mark here. Along with his wife of 66 years, Burl, Larry made a name for himself as a kind, generous man with an adventurous spirit. I kind of like to say he made his money as the owner of Fairfax Ace Hardware in Denver over the years, and then he spent it all when he got to Fremont County. His kindness and generosity will not soon be forgotten. Larry also served his community not only as a member of several different organizations, but also as Florence City Councilman and Florence Mayor Pro Tem. We were lucky to have him as a Fremont County Planning Commissioner here for 8 years, and he served on the Fremont County Board of Zoning Adjustment for another 10. We are very grateful that he chose to use his experience as a keen businessman and talented contractor to help us all here in Fremont County. So deepest condolences to his wife, Burl, to the entire family. And Larry, you will be deeply missed in your adopted community. Godspeed, my friend.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you for that. Probably just to pile on a little bit, I guess, with what Dwayne was talking about. We are always glad for the end of the legislative session to come about, especially in recent years. Actually, in every year. The fact of the matter is, even when I was up there, it's still good.
We still applauded when you were done.
Day 121 is still better than day 120 and all the ones prior to that. And so glad that it is over, but it didn't come without harm. And Commissioner McFall is correct as far as, you know, what we're going to be looking at. We're still in analysis phase as far as what this is going to do to affect local government, how it's going to affect counties, when it comes to land use regulation, when it comes to our business community and the effect that some of this legislation will have on them, what it will mean for our personal freedoms and our constitutional rights when it comes to our Second Amendment rights. There are many things that I think have been analyzed to death. We know how some of these things are going to play out when it comes to the Second Amendment bills. But many of these other things, we're still waiting on the governor's decision on a couple or three key pieces where he's given indication that he is going to veto a couple things, including a union bill, which would be a good thing to veto that. He has had at least one veto that I'm aware of that was a good move on his part. And so hopefully he will veto this one as well. I guess probably looking over the next few months as we're analyzing this, the three of us will probably come back and talk about some of these things and how the legislature has affected us here, whether it's the county or whether it's our local municipalities. We'll give more details on that when the time comes. But for right now, just a reminder, we're actually even still looking at how this is even going to be implementable when we start talking about Senate Bill 3. And if you're familiar with any kind of Second Amendment issues and the bills that have gone through the process up there, Senate Bill 3 was probably the most egregious of all of them. Not that any of the others were wonderful by any stretch of the imagination. Senate Bill 3, however, is difficult at best when it comes to implementation as far as the vetting process in order to be able to exercise your rights. Of course, that then becomes not a right when you have to be vetted in order to exercise your right. Be that as it may, I'm sure there will be lawsuits aplenty coming around Senate Bill 3 and its infringements. Another winner was the ammunition bill. Trying to remember the number on that one. Let me see. It's on my list.
Along with so many others.
It's a long list.
House Bill 1133.
Yeah.
It raised the minimum age to buy ammunition to 21. Meanwhile, you can serve your country and you can die for your country from the ages of 18 to 20, but you are not able to buy ammunition in the state of Colorado. So make sense of that for me. It will also require retailers to keep ammunition in an enclosed display or behind a counter where customers cannot access them without assistance. Ridiculous. You look at places like Shields and Bass Pro and Cabela's, and where you're able to go in to this retailer and get your ammunition. Now it will all be behind the counter, apparently, somehow. So this is not just an anti-Second Amendment bill, this is also an anti-business bill when it comes right down to it. There's several others here in this laundry list of anti-Second Amendment bills and a laundry list of everything else when it comes to anti-business bills, regulatory bills. Commissioner McFall mentioned the potential for special sessions. We'll see how that plays out because the supposed $120 billion, or $1.2 billion shortfall, which really wasn't a $1.2 billion shortfall because it's actually that was the increase that they were projecting from the prior year that they weren't going to be able to meet. So they actually didn't even have to cut that much. And they still couldn't do it. They could have put their shoulder to it and actually made the cuts necessary in order to balance the budget and fix the Medicaid issue that Commissioner McFall alluded to. They still didn't do that, and so I'm guessing that they will have to have a special session in order to fix and plug some of those holes, which they didn't and were completely capable of taking care of during a 120-day session. In any case, usually all of that stuff comes back around to hurt us. So yay for us, but the only thing better than having day 120 CNADA come around is to have day 121. And that is where we are at for the next 240 days plus. And glad to be done with that session. It was not a good one for the people of Colorado. It was not a good one for counties. It was not good for those who care about their constitutional rights. In any case, on that sweet and happy note, we will come back with more information on that as we understand it and as we know it. And that's it for me. Anything else up here? At this point in time, we will move to our point in the agenda for our citizens who wish to address the commissioners on a matter not scheduled on the agenda. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak on something that's not on the agenda? Seeing none.
Wait, yes, sir.
Oh, yes, please. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good
Yes.
morning, Commissioners.
Good
My
morning.
name is Christopher Alney. I work for Colorado Springs Utilities. Coming before the board today with a very sensitive topic of water. We all know there's growth all across the Front Range, and it's impacting our natural resources, and it's impacting water heavily. I'm reaching out from the utilities to say we want to talk with the commissioners from every county along the Arkansas. We want to sit down and have these tough conversations and look for solutions. We want to start these talks before they become an issue and kind of work through what we can, you know, as both users of the Arkansas. So I just come before you with that ask. I'd like to set up a time, maybe a work session. We can sit down, we can hear your concerns, your issues, and what you're dealing with, and we can tell you what we have to offer and see if we can't come to some solutions and some outcomes.
Okay. Do you want to leave actually, we need you to fill out a slip for us anyway. Put your name and your phone number and your contact information on that. And then we can reach out to you.
Right.
And talk about that.
Sounds good. Thank you,
So-
Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I just
All right.
want to say I appreciate that because it is a big problem. It's already a problem before it becomes a problem, right?
Yes.
And I serve on the Arkansas Round Table, I serve on the Upper Ark, and we talk about it every time. And so, yeah, I think it's well worth the conversation. So, thank you for being here.
It's timely as well, considering the article I just read this morning about Manitou Springs.
Yeah,
And they're going on to restrictions. Not sure the level of the problem there, but
broken pipe. That's what it is.
is that it? It's a broken pipe.
Very bad timing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay.
All right, thanks for being here
And
this
what was your
morning.
name again?
Christopher
Christopher Alling.
Alney. It's O-L-N-E-Y. That's how you spell my last name, sir.
Olmey.
N-E-Y.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
please fill that out.
Thank you.
and,
Will do.
And we'll reach back out to you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Well, out of breath and running in the door. No, no apology necessary. We totally understand. We can give you a couple minutes if you want. We can continue on into the agenda, give you time to catch your breath, or you can go ahead and go right now if you want.
That would be awesome.
Which one?
Wait.
Wait. All right. Well, why don't we just, if we can, just lay that over until,
You might mention what you're talking about.
yes, we are talking about the old business. That is the next item on our agenda, and that is for the Penrose RV and boat storage. But running into traffic today and delays, we don't want to force you into making that. So we can lay you over until
She's ready.
you're ready, and then we'll just slip you in there. Okay, on to new business. Now, this is going to be the tough part of the meeting for the chair. We have had the privilege over the last few weeks to have one of our Canyon City High School students here doing his capstone project. And we wanted to give him time today to talk about that and give his experience here and kind of a report on it. And he has the easiest of all names. It's not Smith. You know, and even now I'm doubting my pronunciation of the first name too. So I'm going to give this a shot. Alessio
Alessio.
Orocochea. Close.
Close.
Now you say it.
Aurecochea.
Orocochea. Okay. Now, fantastic name, and I know I butchered it, and I practiced it in my head.
That was the
Problem.
problem.
Exactly, that was the problem. But it's been great having him here, and we've been looking forward to his presentation this morning for his experience here. So please, take it away.
Well, first I'm going to say good morning, everybody. And before we begin on what my captain's about and the whole pay deal, I'd like to thank County Supervisor Tony Carochi, County Clerk Justin Grant, Commissioner Bell, Commissioner Grant, Commissioner McFall, Attorney Garrett Bellis, and Dan at Planning and Zoning. And so my whole, like, the whole PACE stuff is about students interning / working at a field that they're interested in. And this would help us, when we get into the workforce and we're older, find out, hey, what do you want to do in life? Like, for example, let's say you want to, I don't know, intern in construction. And then you'll see, wow, this is not for me. So then you don't have to make the mistake of, not liking your job when you're older when you do go into that field. So that's the purpose of it. Now, I mainly chose intern here because, one, I was interested in the political field, see how it works. And overall, I had like a really good time over here. I enjoyed my, visit here and just learning a lot. It's just crazy how like a county bigger than Luxembourg has so much things going on inside of it that it's really interesting. And also, I came here to like work on my capstone. And the whole project that my whole interest is in is designing a sprinter train that goes from here to Florence and then work up to Pueblo and Springs later on. Now this project would help increase tourism and just overall funds for the county because, let's say, it would also help the elderly community go from one place to another. Because the elderly, they want, they want to go outside more so they could take a train. Let's say they want to go to Denver for an afternoon. They could go up there on this train, take up to Denver, then spend time with family over there, and then come back down in the evening and back to Canyon. So it's more, convenient and all. I even visited the airport too at West Brant because we're tying to that as well, saying, well, if people come through the airport, they could take a shuttle to Canyon City and take a train over to Royal Gorge to Florence and walk around Main Street down that area. So that's the whole part of it. And I also like to thank for more meetings that I met with the city manager Ryan Stevens and then the Leo Evans at the city. I'd like to thank them for getting an opportunity to meet them. And I also went down to Florence to meet Amy Snasta. So I'm very thankful for that. And now Tony and I are gonna go to what's it called? Oh yeah, Pueblo to meet Sabina for a little bit. The commissioner at 11:30 will leave. So it's a very good experience, and I'm just happy to be here to experience all the work on my capstone with you guys to give me mentor me, give me the guidance to make it the best it can be.
Fantastic. Any questions or comments for?
I've got a comment and a question. It was a pleasure having you around. I had a conversation with you one day, and we talked about your capstone project, which is a really interesting, cool idea. I was raised, my father worked for the railroad for 40 plus years, so I'm a railroad kid. So I'm all about trains, and I think first of all, they're just powerful and cool. but they are a good means of transportation. But what I'd like to ask you is, with your experience here and your future, what are your goals from here?
My goal is to mainly research more local government and see how it works in a way, and then work up to if I'm doing politics, look up to more county level, and then state, and then maybe federal if I'm thinking about it. But I just get a big insight how our government actually works, because this is where our daily life is affected from you guys more than the big guy on top of the federal government in Washington D.C. So that's mainly it.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, Alessio, it's been really nice getting to know you. You're clearly a very bright, intelligent, well-spoken young man, and I maintain that we need a lot more kids like you today who are interested in the future of politics, not only on a local level, but maybe on a state level, on a national level. I think that if more of our youth today looked at a future in doing that, they might be more well-prepared when the time comes. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that, and like Commissioner McFall said, best of luck to you in the future. Yeah. Maybe one of these days we'll see you in one of those high offices, and we'll be able to say, I knew him when.
Yes, thank you for doing that and spending your time with us to do your capstone. All the experience you've gotten here, I would say you're probably ahead of the curve, ahead of about probably 95% of the population with everything you've learned over the last few weeks as far as how government operates, especially on a local level. We just had an example of that, I think, this morning with a particular voicemail that they could benefit from your experience.
And your knowledge.
I shouldn't even said that, but it is amazing what you've been able to do here, and I wish you well, and thank you for coming and spending some time with Fremont County. So, well done.
Mr. Chair, if I could just interject.
Please.
Another thing is Alessio also was elected as the head boy for Canyon City High School for next school year.
Oh, congratulations.
So that's pretty exciting for him.
It's off to a running start.
Off to a running start already, yes.
Yes. Congratulations, that's very exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
Yes.
Thank you again. Okay,
Thank you.
Can we get a picture with him?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
let's do that. Okay. Okay, she says she's ready.
All
So
right,
let's
we're ready to.
take care of our old business item, CDP 24-001 for Penrose RV and boat storage. This is a request for a commercial development plan for storage units for recreational vehicles and boats located at 17225 State Highway 115 in Penrose. And with us is Anna Fluke. Okay, come on up.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Maybe
Thank you,
give us
first of all, for your graciousness and my tardiness. I
No,
apologize.
you're good. You're good. No apology necessary on that.
Thank you, second of all, for allowing us to come back with a revised approach and allowing us that room to give our client the best possible result. And so I'm going to have our civil engineer walk you through the adjustments that we made to the plan, see what questions you might have, and see if we can address those today. But hopefully, we have managed to address all of the previous requests.
Okay.
Good morning, Jim
Good morning.
Brostovich with Civil Resources. I
morning.
prepared these plans. So what we've done with this plan is we've actually eliminated one of the buildings, the building that was in the front setback. We were able to kind of reconfigure the two remaining buildings to recover some of that square footage that was deleted by removing that. We are down some square footage, but I guess it's still going to be a viable project for our client. There really aren't any other changes. The access is the same, the stormwater is the same. We've reduced the imperviousness a little bit. The detention pond was sized for the previous design, but we didn't even change it. We moved the parking to the northeast corner there. It's actually going to be a little bit better than where it was shown previously. We show the pad for the portable toilet as requested by staff on the last go-around. And this plan meets all the setbacks. So that's in a nutshell, that's what it is. I'm happy to answer any other technical questions.
Okay. And I'm just going to mention, as far as your highway access, I think we had talked about that last time, but that was I think if you could bottle that little piece of magic and sell that, you might have a market for how you got that. But in any case, on to our staff.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Dan.
So, yep, we have the redesign for the Penrose RV and boat storage here. The proposal's still the same. Open 365, Daisy 24/7. Access is still going to be gained through an assigned personal gate code. The changes to this application are the proposal of chemical toilets. This site plan was reduced to 2 prefabricated storage buildings for a total of 15,183 square feet, which is a difference of 2,850 square feet from the first design. All setbacks meet requirements. Stand by here real quick. So for agencies' comments and concerns, the building department made the recommendation of a vault privy instead of a chemical toilet. Either way, the Board of Health approval would be required for a vault privy or chemical toilet, and it is the Board of Health's ability to approve a chemical toilet versus a vault. All submittal requirements, all requirements have been submitted. We have a waiver of a refuse plan. We had originally granted a variance for the map scale size, so that's good. So with all of this being said, with this redesign, the department has reviewed this application and found it to be a complete and true representation of the request as stated herein. The department finds that all requirements per the Fremont County zoning and development regulations were satisfied by this application. The department recommends approval with the following contingency items. And that would be provide a hazardous spill procedure plan to address any on-site contamination. Submittal of a CDOT notice to proceed for the access permit. An approved noxious weed control plan. And Board of Health approval for the use of chemical toilets. And that is all I have unless you have questions.
Any questions?
I actually have a question for our county attorney, if I may. I know the contingency item, Board of Health approval for use of chemical toilets. I believe that because this board also serves as the Board of Health, a year or two ago, we made the decision that it's kind of silly to have an applicant come to two separate boards when they're dealing with the same people. And we made the allowance at that time that this board also could approve the use of chemical toilets at this time with this permit. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So we do not have to come back. It will have to be specifically stated in whatever motion we have, but yes, you can, since this board does sit also as the Board of Health, a little different composition with respect to the chair and so forth, but it makes no difference in terms of the formality of approving that request.
Streamlining services.
It's not that we have to come back, it's so that
They
don't
don't
have
have
to
to come back, correct.
Okay.
I've
Thank
got
you.
something, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please.
So I guess this is a question for you guys, or a comment and then a question. One, I appreciate you redoing this. When we met the first time, it didn't meet the setbacks, and there was a lot of worries about that. And at that time, it was mentioned you didn't know if you could do it, and I simply stated, yeah, you get rid of some units, which is what you did. The northwest corner there looks like it's really close to the Beaver Park water easement, so just be careful when you're building and make sure you stay out of that. But I appreciate you taking the effort to do this, and we didn't want to kill this opportunity, but we wanted to keep it to the standards that we hold everyone else to, so I appreciate that.
Okay. Any other comments or questions for the applicant or a motion?
I would have a motion.
Please.
All right, Mr. Chair. Well, first of all, let me say the same. Thank you for coming back with this revision. It made us a lot happier. We like being able to follow our own regulations. And I think it's important moving into the future that we don't have others standing before us saying, but you ignored it for them, because we don't ignore our own regulations.
That only comes back to bite us every single time.
Every time, yes, multiple times.
Well, and I want to say the best part of what we do in construction is allowing us to push the limits and curiosity and questions. And so much of what we're doing is trying to give this balance between what our client needs and wants and then what the jurisdiction allows. And there's this wiggle room between the two, and we as the applicant are not the owner. We're right in the middle. So we have to choose the fight at the right time and choose the time to push it down and move away from that. And so there's always a fine line, so.
Well, good job. I think you did a great job of walking that line.
Thank you for that.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to approve this request for a commercial development plan for storage units for recreational vehicles and boats located at 17225 State Highway 115 in Penrose for the Penrose RV and boat storage. This is CDP 24-001. This motion does include the contingencies of providing a hazardous spill procedure plan that addresses any on-site contamination, a copy of the CDOT notice to proceed for access permit number 224022, an approved noxious weed control plan, and it does also include the Board of Health approval for use of chemical toilets on site.
And the waiver request,
The refuse plan.
refuse plan.
Waiver request.
Oh, yes, and the waiver for the refuse plan. Thank you for that.
Okay,
Would second that.
has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye,
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks for coming back.
I hope you don't run into traffic going home.
Okay. Back into our new business agenda. Next item, item number 2, is a request for the issuance of a malt, Venice, and spiritus and fermented malt beverage special events permit, Fremont County Republican Central Committee, for an event at venue at Oak Creek, 800 North Fraser, Florence, on May 31st from 4 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. in this year, 2025. And with us is Representative for the Fremont County Republican Central Committee, Susan Luck.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Susan,
So
what?
to the young man over here, run, just run.
Yes.
No, I-
Don't listen to her.
If you need an internship at the state, you just let me know. I think I have
There
a
you go.
connection.
She has connection. She has the connection. Go ahead and tell us what we got going on, as if
So the
most of us
Fremont-
up here don't know, but go ahead.
Fremont County Republicans have an annual fundraising banquet. It is the Lincoln Day Dinner in honor of Abraham Lincoln, who was our first Republican president. It is our biggest fundraiser, and we would love to have all of you here. I have some invitations. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to tell you about the area. It is a new event center in Florence, and we're trying to get into Florence a little bit more. It's the Oak Creek venue at Oak Creek. It's owned by Amy Hildebrand, I believe is how you say her last name. And so I'm not really sure.
No?
Okay.
Any questions?
I do have a question.
Please.
Susan, can you talk about who is going to be the servers for this event, how they will have been trained, and how they will identify people underage so that they will not be drinking?
So the servers will be out of, I believe it's Palisade. Is that right? The liquor store Palisade? Is that their liquor store? in Florence?
Paradise?
Paradise.
Paradise,
In
thank
Florence.
you.
Paradise Liquor.
If it's in Florence, it's Paradise.
Yes, it's Paradise Liquor. Jeremy
Mm-hmm.
will be the server. He's the owner of the liquor store, and they will be IDing people if they,
Okay, so if they're working there, then they should already be trained?
yes.
To state
yes,
standards.
They do have their servers
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
license.
Any other questions?
Not from me.
All right. Well, how about a staff report, clerk's report?
Yes, our normal staff is actually out sick today, so I had to memorize this whole report in about 30 minutes. Now, all the documentation was submitted to the clerk's office on time. We sent it to the sheriff's office, public health, the attorney. All of them have reviewed the application, and all the information is correct, and they all approved the venue, and the clerk's office also recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions, comments,
Need a motion?
motions?
A motion. Mr. Chair, I move to approve the malt venison spiritus fermented malt beverage special events permit for Fremont County Republican Central Committee for an event at a venue at Oak Creek, 800 North Fraser Street in Florence on May 31st from 4 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. 2025.
I will second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
this is your additional opportunity to advertise and how folks can get tickets.
Yes, please get tickets.
I know I keep thinking I need to go get my ticket.
And they can do that online?
Tell us
Yeah.
on, with the microphone, how people watching us, because there's millions that watch us.
Millions watching.
And they might want to go, so.
So you can go to our office at 603 Main Street and pick up tickets Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to, I hope that's not me.
It is you.
It is.
Probably
it
is.
It is, it's all right.
And then online at fremontrepublican.org, You can buy your tickets there.
Okay,
All right.
Great.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
apologize.
Thanks, Susan.
You're
That
good.
was quick, somebody calling right there to buy a ticket.
Ready to buy a ticket, that's right.
Phone's ringing off the hook. All right, next item on the agenda is item number 3. It's the request for the issuance of a fermented malt beverage special event permit, Royal Gorge River Initiative Organization, for an event at Royal Gorge Park, East Ridge Campground, County Road 389B, Canyon City, on May 17 from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And with us is a representative for the organization, Caleb McNeil.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Caleb, why don't you tell us what you got going on?
So this has been a couple years now that this event has been going on, but it's a Zia Rides mountain bike race. It happens up at the Royal Gorge Campground, at least that's where the finish is, all through those trails. Along with that event, Zia invites a local nonprofit to serve beer that's donated by World's End Brewing, and just receive tips as a fundraiser for the nonprofit. So this year, the nonprofit will be RG Rio, a local nonprofit that handles all of our river stuff. You guys are probably familiar, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a volunteer with them. We'll be helping them serve that night. I'll try to get in front of the questions. We use construction fencing up right at where some of the picnic tables are up at the campground to kind of cordon off an area where there's only one entry, one exit. We set up right there, check IDs as people come in, use little bands, little sticky bands on people so they stay within their area when they're getting their post-race beer. And then I'm tips trained, I'll be there the whole time serving with one other person. So that's kind of the plan, similar to what we've done the last 3 years.
Okay,
All right.
Stole your thunder.
any questions left?
Yeah, he kind of stole my thunder, so I got nothing.
Learning slowly.
So thank you for that.
I have just one about the security. How are you going to make sure they don't go out the end of that when you're over there serving?
Well, it's also the construction fencing keeps them in the one area, and then it's just one way in and out. So we are sitting right there at the entrance.
Oh, it's at the entrance, okay.
Okay. No, I guess we go to a staff report,
Staff
clerk report.
Absolutely. My second time being an expert. No. Looks like.
You're doing fine so far.
He says he
Thank you.
memorized that last one, but then he had the folder open, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I did. I had to make sure I said all the words right. No, the applicant gave us the application, all the documents were included, everything was filled out, proof of notice was submitted to us within the adequate time frame. Public Health, Sheriff's Office reviewed this, recommends approval. The attorney saw no deficiencies, so the clerk's office recommends approval.
Okay,
All right.
any questions for the clerk? Motions? Anything?
Sure.
You want me to do this one too? I'll do
Sure,
it.
I got it. I'm on it. First, just let me say, understanding this is the 3rd year that you're doing this, we've never had a complaint about your events, and we appreciate that. It's not always the case, but that's kind of what we look for, and we appreciate that. So with that, Mr. Chair, I move to approve this fermented malt beverage special event permit for Royal Gorge River Initiative Organization, also known as RIO, for the event at Royal Gorge Park, East Ridge Campground, County Road 389B in Canyon City, on May 17th from 4 to 9 p.m.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
McBell?
Yes. Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye,
Motion carries.
thank you.
I'll just leave, I was told to bring that poster back, so.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
That's great.
I will take
God.
it, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck. Those guys that ride that bike ride, man, it's amazing. It's a grueling ride.
They
It's,
need some beer when they're done.
they need more than beer when they're done, but the beer's a good start, yeah. It's grueling.
It is, I'm glad Commissioner Bell mentioned, the good actors, that
Yeah.
these folks have been, and it just kind of a reminder, we're pretty lucky with all of our
We are pretty
events and everything in this county. Maybe I shouldn't even speak to it,
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. But we're always appreciative of not receiving calls, but, but if calls are warranted, obviously we want them. But we have very good actors in our event applicants and event permits applicants. So, on to our next item, item number 4, temporary use permit 25-001 Penrose VFW Post 2788 Car Show. And with us today is Jim Sheridan.
Yes, it is.
Good morning.
Commissioners, board members, thank you for seeing me today.
Morning, sir.
So, anyway, this is our second annual car show for the VFW. We're still in the growing phases and everything else. Last year, we learned a lot, and we're still trying to get to it. I've been with the out-of-day parade and everything else before, but this year is just a little bit different than just the out-of-day parade. Last year, we had 110 vehicles. We only expected 50 to 60. This year, we're expecting double, around 200. We have made allotments for the side streets and all the way down to all the way to the firehouse and everything there for the cars to park. This is a great event. This has been one of our members' lifelong dream to see a car show at the VFW, and now it's happening. With this year, I have a bunch of questions on security. We have our own volunteers, which are veterans, who are going to be handling security within the gates and the roads and everything else. With that, our road blockage is more myself and about 5 others are going to have the blockage for the roads and everything. Now we're talking to CDOT to get the equipment they have, plus some other stuff they can, we have a lot of cones and everything else, but we will have enough security and blockage and monitoring for this. If it comes to an emergency with it has to come through the main street, we have full blockage. The main street is going to be open. It's just going to be on the sides of the street itself, so the fire trucks and ambulances come through. But other than that, everything's covered. Any alcohol is going to be served within the VFW, not out in the confines of the VFW, within the fenced-in area, and that's it. No more than that. We've got a lot of great vendors coming in, and this year we've got a lot more people coming up. There's also one special guest that's going to be there. We have a Vietnam veteran who has a 2016 Corvette that has been painted with a POWMIA American flag. He is a Vietnam vet. He was here last year. He's going to be here this year. He's going to be our main attraction up there. We're doing this, and we hope to have a lot more people there, which is what's going on. So,
Okay.
with what we're seeing, as you see the drawing here and everything else, we pretty much try to cover every aspect of what it is with what it's got there. But I can pretty much guarantee with all my veterans that's going to be there that day, there will be no problems.
Fantastic. Any questions?
I have seen that Corvette. It is awesome. It is cool. Yeah, it's worth the trip just to see that car. Yeah.
I got a call just the other night. One gentleman was bringing in a 1932 Chrysler drag top. He's hauling in on a data trailer. He's going to park the night before and get it out. But it's a very rare car. I've seen one in one in a few years.
Wow.
So.
Okay,
I do have a question.
please.
This doesn't really come from the application, except maybe something our Department of Transportation said, but I believe a conversation that we had had. I just want to make it clear that the VFW is responsible for all fencing, for cones, for signage, for blocking any routes, for unblocking any routes. I just need to be clear that Fremont County Department of Transportation is not going to take care of that for you.
That is correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay,
That's my only question.
all right, let's turn to our staff for our staff report.
All right, hello again. TUP 25-001, VFW Post 2788 Car Show. Their request is for a temporary use permit to conduct a one-day car show from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on May 17th. The location of the event will be held on a 2-block section of Broadway, starting at the alley by Beaver Park Water Building and ending at Illinois. The applicant is asking to close side streets connecting to Broadway, which include Fremont, Grant, Hawkins, and the intersection at Broadway and Illinois. This is the second year they've applied for this temporary use permit. The area is predominantly business zone district. Drinking water will be provided from the VFW. They are proposing 2 chemical toilets, 2 hand washing stations, and chemical toilet permit approval as part of this application. They're also providing 1 8-yard dumpster for trash. The toilet placement will be at Grant Street, and it's provided by Twin and Biro. For emergency plan, Penrose Fire Station Number 1 will respond to the emergencies. We do have an approved fire protection plan signed by Director James Sheridan. Let's see, all right, for agency and staff comments, FCDOT just requests that trash and debris be cleaned from the roadway after the event is over, and that the applicant handles any signage or detours on their own. CDOT wants to remind the applicant that on-premise and off-premise event signage shall comply with the current Colorado Outdoor Advertising Act. No signs for the event, including temporary traffic control, shall be erected along the highway without a permit, and the applicant must reach out to CSP to see if CSP has any special event permitting. Building departments had the opportunity to review the application and finds it's in compliance with Fremont County OWTS regulations. The applicant has included the sanitation proposal from Twin, and the applicant has also applied for and paid for that chemical toilet permit, and it would be issued with the approval of this TUP if we choose to approve. Insurance is covered. They're requesting a waiver of a surety bond. And with all that having been said, the application is in compliance with the requirements of the Fremont County zoning resolution. Staff recommends approval of the temporary use permit application with the following contingency, and that's the approval of the waiver for the surety bond.
That was a mouthful. Okay, any questions for Mr. Victoria?
I have none.
None.
Anything else?
Got a motion if you're prepared.
I'm ready.
I move to approve temporary use permit 25-001 for Penrose VFW Post 2788 for their car show. This event will be conducted one day, May 17th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with approval of a waiver for surety bond and approval of chemical toilets.
Second.
Is that everything?
I think so.
It was kind of stopped like there was going to be more too,
I
right?
know, I know. Dramatic pause.
Yes.
And
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, good luck with your event.
And you're more than welcome to come out to the car show and that, to come out and see the great cars we're gonna have, and my veterans of VFW Post 2788, thank you for this.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you, Jim.
Before we move on to number 5 and number 6, I should have mentioned this back during our other comments, but Jim being here kind of reminded me. We went to the honor flight dinner a couple months ago, and yeah, come on back up. The honor flight took their flight last week.
They just got back.
And they just got back, and a friend of mine was on that flight, Carrie Chapman.
Yes, he was.
And I gotta say, I've supported this for a long time and did in various ways, but I've never known directly a participant in the honor flight and someone who was a veteran who got to take that trip. And I gotta tell you, I've posted some of the videos on my Facebook, so if you're a Facebook friend, you've probably seen some of those videos from the trip. And I got to talk to Carrie on Sunday, and I asked him if he had a good time, and he said I don't even know if I should relay this, but it was an emotional trip for the man. And if you know his story, and I won't share his story here, but if you know his story, this was very well deserved and understandably emotional trip that he finally got to take. And I thank you and your part in this as well.
Well, you know, it's one thing when I fully retired in October 22 from federal service in the military, I made a new chapter. My chapter was veterans. I'll take care of my veterans as much as I can with what diligence I can do. With this, I would like to say thank you to the people of Fremont County. They were outstanding. We raised $41,000.
Wow.
Is what we raised that night, thanks to all of you here and the ones out in the county. That covered a whole trip for the veterans to go there. The trip itself is a trip for healing and remembrance and closure. If you ever get a chance to go to Washington, D.C., please do. Please go see the Veterans Memorials. The last time I was there was in 1981, and there have been a lot of changes since then. Yes, myself, I am a veteran. I got people trying to push me to go there. But the way I tell them, it's not my time. My time will be when it comes. Right now, our reason for that is to take care of the older veterans who are here today, and that they can have closure.
Yeah.
But I do thank you, and Sergeant Colonel Arnflight does thank you very much, and the people of Fremont for doing this.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
And just another note for the millions of folks out there watching. Honor Flight, if you want to participate, you want to donate to a most worthy cause in getting these veterans out there, the honor that they receive is tear-jerking. And some of these Vietnam vets, you've heard the stories about how they were received when they came back from Vietnam, and how that is completely flipped on its head now. And the honor that they receive is
Amazing.
It's hard to say without getting emotional. In any case, thank you, Jim. Appreciate your involvement, sir. Item 5, secure transportation service license and permit for Bethlehem Weld, DBA. It's a four-letter, I don't even know how, Dodgy Transportation LLC. And for this, we turn to Mr. Bellis. Would you like to give an explanation?
Sure. Again, these are for behavioral transport services, behavioral health transport services. The difference between the various classes and types, Class A behavioral health transport services are authorized to use limited physical restraint if necessary. Class B are not. This first request is for a Class A secure transportation service. That is one that is authorized to use limited physical restraint if necessary. And the vehicles that they use also have to be permitted. The difference between the types of vehicles, Type 1 vehicles do have a barrier between the driver and the passenger. Type 2 vehicles do not. So this first request for Bethlehem Weld is for a Class A service using a Type 1 vehicle.
Okay, as simple as that.
As simple as that.
Well, this is not our first rodeo.
No, it's not.
So, Mr. Chair, I have a motion if you're
Please.
prepared. Let me get up here. Okay, I move to approve a secure transportation service license for Bethlehem Weld doing business as, I'm going to call it Dodgy Transportation Limited Liability Company for a Class A secure transportation service license. This motion also includes certifying a 2016 Ford Explorer as a Type 1 secure transportation vehicle with Bethlehem Weld.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Anything further on item number 6, Mr. Bellis, to add to this?
The only difference with item 6, it is for a Class B secure transportation service license, so physical restraint not authorized, and a Type 2 vehicle permit, a vehicle that does not have a barrier between the driver and passenger.
Okay. There is a bill.
So is this name, Mr. Chair. I got a motion if you're ready.
Excellent.
I can't wait to hear this.
Let's move for approval of a Class B license for Rogeia Alsalik, doing business as Secure Transport LLC, as well as a Type 2 permit for a 2015 Toyota Sienna.
All right, I second that.
We are challenged today. Okay. It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And with that, it looks like we're at the end of our agenda and out of business, and we are adjourned.